Every era has its frontier. A line between what is and what's next. We've played the game, built the legends, carried the weight. But this is different. This is where the game leaves the ground. No limits, no ceiling. No looking back. This isn't the next season. This is the next frontier.
Welcome everyone to Salt Lake City, Utah. Day 2 of the 2026 AUSL season. The Utah Talons and Jada Coleman fresh off a opening day win at their new home base. The Chicago Bandits trying to respond on day 2 and even the series at 1 apiece. Alongside Amanda Scarborough, I am Chucky Kempf. Exactly what you want to see on opening day. They set the tone, and they did it with some of their biggest stars on the roster.
Yeah, coming off of that championship last year, that was based a lot around their pitching and their defense. In the expansion draft, the Talons lost a lot of their sluggers, a lot of their offense, and they wanted to replenish them, but they also wanted to build off of the offensive stars that they got to keep, like Bri Ellis, who last year was her rookie season, and she had a great game last night, but as a rookie, only hit 1 home run after that National Player of the Year campaign at Arkansas. However, last night, Bri Ellis, opening day, got off to a terrific start, exactly what the Talons wanted to see. In her first at bat, she hit a home run. Second at bat, she hit a double, 2 extra base hits for Bri Ellis, the big slugger, all from the 8-hole where she will be again tonight. 3 RBI night for Bri Ellis and opening day.
You said it, just 1 home run last year for Bri Ellis, but she gets it done in her first at-bat of the season. She looked loose, looked like she was having a ton of fun, and probably in every other ballpark in America, but this one would have hit 2 home runs with that one that went off the left field wall. So the Talons trying to take the season opening series with Sarah Willis getting the ball in the circle against this dangerous Chicago lineup who got 2 runs very quickly off Montana Fouts in the first inning. Fouts adjusted. The Bandits did not. Their head coach, Shonda Stanton, said that she won the chess match after that first inning or 2. First pitch outside from Sarah Willis, making her first start of the season against her former team, the Chicago Bandits. She was with this team last year, but departs this year. She was actually picked up out of the reserve athlete pool and faces a lot of familiar faces as she gets the strike call on the top of the zone. There's one spot in the strike zone that is different from the college game. Everything is the same except the top. It is 1 ball higher at the top of the zone. But there's an emphasis from the league to call the strike zone. They want to see these corners called. And so you might see a little difference in that department in the pro game versus college. And here is Morgan Zerkle, who's very familiar with the college game because she coaches at her alma mater, Marshall.
Yeah,
there is the changeup.
She's going to get a lot of this changeup as the rest of the Bandits are going to. She's saw it a couple of times in that at bat, and the Bandits were used to seeing Sarah Willis in a Bandits uniform and watching her throw this pitch last summer, and now they're going to get to hit off of it. So a couple of strikes within that at bat to Zerkle, getting the top of the strike zone with the changeup. That is actually her most used pitch. When you look at her pitch usage, she throws that about 36% of the time, or at least she did last summer. She'll also work in a screw curve, so east and west, and then go down just a touch with her drop ball.
Bandits general manager Jenny Dalton-Hill said they watched film on Sarah Willis last night, and a lot of the film was watching their own defense behind her from a year ago. Here is last year's MVP Erin Koffel, who would have been behind Willis typically at second base. But she will be the shortstop to begin the season pretty regularly for Chicago until Skylar Wallace returns from the temporary inactive list. One of 5 players that the Bandits are without. 4 of those players are currently finishing their professional seasons in Japan.
Yeah, Erin Koffel can do it all on defense. You could put her anywhere in the order. She was hitting in the 3-hole in yesterday's game. They shuffled around their lineup a little bit, trying to get a win after opening day loss. And there's that changeup again. That pitch, Erin Koffel is questioning where that pitch was at, but how much confidence does Sarah Willis have in her changeup? She will throw it in any count.
3-1 Koffel, ground ball right side, picked up there by Rachel Becker. She throws it away, and Koffel aggressively takes second. Her head coach, Shonda Stanton, loves that. We just talked to Shonda about the aggressiveness on the base paths because she loves to steal at her college, Indiana. She said it's not just about stealing, it's about stuff like this too.
Yeah, and it seemed like, too, that Bri Ellis just did not stretch towards this ball. Not an easy one to catch it all, but her left foot was more toward home plate, and she didn't stretch toward foul territory and right field. So maybe expecting one to be a little bit higher, just did not have a good stretch. It wasn't a great throw, don't get me wrong, but a throw I think if she stretched for properly, she might be able to get.
Well, it gives a big opportunity now to the Bandits with one out. And a runner on second base for Taryn Kern, the rookie out of Stanford. Good start for her last night. Hit one off the wall in center field. And I mentioned Bri Ellis likely would have had 2 home runs last night if we were at any other ballpark. Kern would have certainly had one. That is 235 to dead center. She hit it almost off of that number.
This is a pitcher-friendly ballpark, that's for sure, and I think that the outfielders are having to make some adjustments. They have a lot of ground to cover out in the outfield, or they get a lot of ground to cover. I'm sure as an outfielder you love that. You have more time to track balls down into the gaps and more time to hit the wall like we saw yesterday.
Just to put it in perspective for fans, this ballpark is anywhere from about 15 to 35 feet deeper in the respective parts of the park. So down the lines here in Utah, it's 225. At Duke, where the Carolina Blaze are playing, it is 190 down the line as Kern goes down on strikes. 2 Ks for Sarah Willis here in the first.
Again, a different location this time with her changeup and being able to locate this pitch more in the dirt and get a chase from Taryn Kern. So we've seen that up in the zone for a strike against Zirkle. We've seen it right at the knees for a strike against Koffel, and now we see it in the dirt against Taryn Kern. So locating that pitch very well all throughout the up and down the ladder.
Jocelyn Erickson takes ball 1 upstairs. Jocelyn, a big-time pickup in the college draft out of Florida, where she was an absolute superstar, Gold Glove winner, SEC Player of the Year, but was 0 for 4 in her professional debut last night. Takes the first 2 pitches and jumps ahead 2-0. Jocelyn, as Anna Camden, who will join us in this game, told us last night, very familiar with Erin Koffel, who stands on second base. Erin was a grad manager the last 2 years under Tim Walton at Florida, so obviously has a very close relationship with Jocelyn Erickson. The 3-0 pitch from Willis. You said it, she'll throw it in any count.
In any count. That is 2 3-0 changeups that she has thrown in this inning, dropping it down to 47 miles an hour. She'll ramp it up to about 67, 68 too. So 20-mile-an-hour difference with the change.
She's right back in this count with 2 of those pitches, one at 46, one at 50 miles per hour.
And it's so unique. You just don't see very often. I'm not going to say you never see it, right, but it's very rare. It's not very often that you see a pitcher whose most used pitch is their changeup. Usually that's a secondary pitch that a pitcher likes to work in there, but that's the pitch that she feels the most comfortable with.
Another great crowd. And already a tradition here with 2 strikes, the caw chance. That is smothered by Rachel Becker, who tosses it over to Bri Ellis to end the inning. Great start for Sarah Willis in her 2026 debut. at MC's.
Oh my gosh, they're so good. They're the life of the party.
0-0, bottom of the first inning here in Utah. Fans have packed the house again here at Dumke Family Stadium. Jada Coleman, one of the new faces on this team, as we look at the Rawlings starting lineup for the Talons. Coleman in the 5 spot, 4 national championships at Oklahoma, 1 for 2 yesterday, also had a sacrifice fly RBI in the Talons victory that ended 5-2. The offense didn't need much. They will face Taylor McQuillan tonight, the left-hander out of Arizona. Longtime pro now, 7th season. She's from Mission Viejo, California. She was the 2nd-round pick in the inaugural AUSL draft a couple years ago, and she was one of the 5 protects for Jenny Dalton Hill on this Bandits team entering this season in the expansion draft, as Aaliyah Andrews starts the game with a base hit.
McQuillan has really good stuff from the left-hand side. She is a veteran and constantly working on her craft to find a way to get better, whether that's an off-speed pitch, a location. Her main pitch that she'll use the most last season, when we're referring back to these numbers, was her curveball followed by her rise. Also mix in a drop, and then we'll also mix in a changeup as well. So curve, rise, drop, and changeup mix for McQuillan from the left-hand side.
14 appearances last year for Taylor McQuillan. 9 of them were out of the bullpen, so primarily used in that role. She did make 5 starts, and of course last year was only a 24-game season. This year, all of these teams will play 1 more game, 25 games. But McQuillan was tied for first in the AUSL with 4 saves. She was actually tied with Georgina Korik, who will join the Talons in a couple weeks after finishing up in Japan. McQuillan against Hannah Flippen. These two, before conference realignment got a hold of college athletics, would have faced off in the Pac-12 with each other. Their respective schools would have. Flippen in her 10th year as a pro, McQuillan in year 7. To the shortstop, Koffel, and it's a double play. Quick turn for a new middle infield. Koffel at shortstop, normally has been at second base, and that's the freshman, or the rookie, I should say, Agbayani.
She was a freshman not that long ago, because she just finished with her senior year and is now a rookie. Ilana Agbayani being able to turn that double play. Gold Glover at Oklahoma, playing her opening day. She was the opening day starter at second base for the Bandits as well. And with Taylor McQuillan, she was struggling with her command those first 2 batters. That is a big deal for her to build her confidence for a quick 2 outs after that double play. First double play of the series here in Utah. I mentioned it last night. It felt like last year was the year of the double play in the AUSL. I have a feeling with all the offense, this might be the year of the home run, like we saw in the college game with tons of records being broken. Maybe we'll see the same thing here. Maybe it will be different. We have quite a few games to see how it pans out. The positive tonight for Willis and McQuillan, it's a great play by Williams over at third. She had a couple of errors last night. That is certainly not one. Robs a base hit from Jaquish. And that is a way to rebound by the infield, picking up their pitcher Taylor McQuillan, and a rebound from Sammy Williams, who you mentioned it, made a couple of errors at the hot corner last night. The ball always finds you, especially a hot shot like that, 70 miles an hour off the bat, and Sammy Williams gloves it.
The AUSL is sponsored by Franklin. Those are the Wasatch Mountains over the fence here at Dumpke Family Softball Stadium at the University of Utah, the new home of the 2025 AUSL champion, now Utah Talons. Sarah Willis is going to run her sunglasses all the way off the field. We got to have somebody take those for her, right? You can have a pitcher.
Yeah, she's wanted to be the fastest way.
First career start for Elon Butler. The Chicago right fielder tonight is picked up out of the reserve athlete pool and lays into this to right field, but got underneath of it. She flies out to right for the first out. Take a look at the Bandits starting lineup presented by Easton. Butler in the 5-hole. We'll see Bree Copeland next, also making her professional debut as far as a start goes. Morgan Zirkle, the home run leader, is in the leadoff spot for Chicago tonight. They did have some lineup shuffling. Copeland spins one awkwardly in the infield, and Hannah Flippen, last year's Defensive Player of the Year, tracks it down.
Couple of quick outs there for Sarah Willis, and we talked to Shauna Stanton, the head coach of the Bandits, before the game, and she had said one of the things that they really wanted to focus on early in this game was a 20-pitch inning and making the pitcher Sarah Willis throw 20 pitches. Came close, didn't quite hit that number in the first, but kind of great to hear insight into these head coaches and just different focuses that they have with their team. Her goal was that first inning, having a 20-pitch inning against the pitcher.
Sammy Williams takes the first 2 pitches and falls behind 0-2 in the count. Sammy Williams, probably the best player in Iowa State softball history. Takes that. The Talons thought they had strike 3. Williams finished her career in Ames in 2021 as a first-team All-American. 1-2 from Willis, outside, ball 2.
I mean, we're used to seeing hitters stand at the very back of the box in the college game and also at AUSL, and Sammy Williams more standing kind of middle to front of the box, which is unusual this day and age. So many hitters are in the very back of the box.
Swing and a miss. Willis has thrown anywhere from 48 to 68 in this game, and that's her 3rd strikeout. We are scoreless, an inning and a half into this game. Utah coming to the plate. Let's go down and check in with Anna Camden.
Thanks, Chucky. Guys, I just want to acknowledge the whirlwind transition these rookies are making into the pros. Last night, Taryn Kern made her professional debut, but yesterday morning, she was printing out a biology final, finishing it, and emailing it back to her professor at Stanford. She said she actually had to push up a bunch of her presentations to even get down to spring training, and thankfully, yesterday was her last final, so she's done for the semester. She's not done for good, though. Kern told me she's actually taking another year to finish her biology degree and will be taking a semester abroad in the fall in Spain. How cool is that, guys?
I love that. I should have done something abroad. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, I definitely thought about it, but didn't ever put it into action. But what doesn't sound fun is biology. Like, personally, that is a personal thing for me. I can't imagine balancing being a college softball player and also having a biology major and doing it at Stanford the way that Taryn Kern has done the past couple of years. Remember, she started at Indiana and then transferred over.
Jessica Allister, Stanford's head coach, told us this year before a game, if you're going to go to Stanford, you make those decisions a long time before you ever get on campus. Those are life choices that you make, and Taryn Kern obviously fits the mold of a Stanford athlete.
Well, and I always think that the journey of all of these rookies to get here is so unique, because some are playing, or some are in quarter systems like at UCLA, and Stanford is going to be different, and some just played in the Women's College World Series just a few days ago, and it's such a quick turnaround that some are still dealing with schools, some are still dealing with their former teams. I mean, some are just competing for a national championship, and then days later they're here.
Taryn Kern didn't just transfer anywhere. She kind of went home when she went back to Stanford after that 1 year at Indiana. She's from San Jose, California. McQuillan walks the leadoff batter here in the second. It's Charlize Palacios who gets a day off behind the plate, with Savannah Jaquish getting the catching duties for Sarah Willis. Talons have had a leadoff batter on in each of the first 2 innings, and Palacios will be ran for here. This is a professional debut for Sarah Gordon, who is a rookie out of Georgia, picked up out of the reserve athlete pool, seeing some time now.
Well, and think about the whole right side of the infield for the Bandits are all rookies, and you go back behind the plate. So Erickson, Kern, Agbayani over at second base. This is just their second professional game that they've ever played in. Trying to figure all this out, communicate on defense, learn the ins and outs of what the synergy is going to be like on the infield. Jocelyn Erickson trying to take control back behind the plate, just went out and gave Taylor McQuillan a little bit of love. All of this is new. Yeah, they just did it with Stanford, Oklahoma, and Florida, but it's different on a different team. You were used to those teams and the way that things worked. It just feels different here.
1-1 count to Jada Coleman, showing bunt, but pulls back for ball 2. There are 2 players on the 2 infields that were everyday starters last year. Erin Koffel, who is not in her position that she played all of last year, which was second base, and Hannah Flippen for the Utah Talons.
Quick timeout because of these wind gusts that we're getting, and we're looking, there's one little American flag on the scoreboard, and it is blowing straight in and hard, and it says 18-mile-an-hour winds and gusts of 33 miles an hour. So the trees are blowing, just heavy wind gusts, and cold air, it seems like, moving in as we go into the night.
Coleman hard hit, Koffel to a knee, low throw, the turn, not in time, but nice job by Agbayani to handle that at second. They get the lead runner 1 out.
Watch Erin Koffel go to this backhand and how low she keeps her glove. She goes to the backhand and gets her glove low from the start. She doesn't go high to low to field that ground ball. She starts with a low position with her backhand and fields that so cleanly. Great glove work there by the shortstop, Koffel.
Hard hit ground ball, another chance for 2. Agbayani didn't get it out of her glove cleanly. So the Talons keep trading places on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, there should have been a double play, but she could not get it out of her glove on the transfer. So that little bit of not being able to get a good grip on the ball is the difference between her being out and safe. Remember, the Bandits already turned one double play in the first inning. That should have been number 2.
Here is Bri Ellis.
Last night, we talked about it. She had that double and the home run. Both of her hits came with 2 strikes. Last year, she only hit 107 with 2 strikes. Last night, she had 3 RBIs. All were with 2 strikes. All of last year, she was 3 for 28.
Ellis fouls that off in the 0-2 count. A little confusion on the lineup right now, because the lineup we were given and the lineup that is in Stat Broadcast, which is the system that kind of is the official scorekeeping system, is that Rachel Becker should be at the plate right now. Instead, of course, this is not Rachel Becker. This is Bri Ellis.
Well, if the Bandits have recognized this, if the official lineup card was turned in and Ellis and Becker were switched like the way that we think it is, they're going to wait to see what happens with Bri Ellis, so that way they can get an out if she doesn't already get herself out. If she gets a hit, they could go to the home plate umpire. Another 2-strike count for Bri Ellis and a big swing there. I just think that that's so interesting. Not that this whole lineup thing is very interesting, but 2 2-strike hits last night and only had 3 all of last summer. 3 for 28 with 2 strikes, hitting 107.
It is a determined looking Bri Ellis. It also is a free looking Bri Ellis. We saw her reaction after the double, and she just looked like she's having so much fun. We've got her mic'd up tonight, so you will hear from her at some point tonight. We've seen some snippets of it, and she's just having a blast right now. Into left field, long run for Dayton, who slips down and he gets by her. Jacobson reeling around for third. She's going to score. Ellis trying for 3. She's in. Here comes Shonda Stanton.
I think she's more so asking about maybe the tag at third. But Dayton did slip and did not get a good read on that ball. I thought they're going to challenge the out at third base potentially.
The Bandits are challenging the play at third base. The call on the field is safe. That play is under review.
But we're all just left wondering now about the lineup that we had all written in, and Rachel Becker should have been up. Oh boy, now I'm going to have to adjust my scorecard.
The eraser's out.
I thought when Bri Ellis slid, her foot was up in the air when the tag, I guess it was a little bit late. It's hard to tell from up here, but great hustle by her to get herself to third base, and that tag just did reach her right after her foot got to the bag.
So as we await the ruling here, it does appear that maybe we just had the wrong lineup.
So Bri Ellis has a double, home run, and triple. If this was that an error or a triple?
I think that's a single with an error, is my
After
guess.
review,
Yeah.
The call in the field stands. The runner is safe.
Okay.
This is the Bandits' first challenge with 1 remaining.
I got really excited because I was thinking double, home run, and triple with 2 strikes off the bat of Bri Ellis. But no, you're right. I know. I just got really excited.
Well, we don't know. We'll find out.
Bri
We
Ellis
also,
motor on over there.
I'm curious to see what the official scoring is on
A lot of things.
what happens with this lineup.
Because it does say Rachel Becker tripled to left field in Stat Broadcast.
What we have just been told is the umpire's lineup card does have Bri Ellis in the 7 hole, so that just Could have been a late change. So no worries there. Everything that happened just then was legit. It was ruled a triple.
I didn't know that I was going to pull so hard for a 2-strike cycle for someone in 2 games. I didn't even know that that was a thing.
The other odd part of this is that Rachel Becker was on deck. It is actually Jadelyn Alchin who is going to hit for Utah. (0-2), fouled straight back by Alchin. She was in the starting lineup last night. McQuillan trying to end it with just the 1 run. Nice job behind the plate by Jocelyn Erickson. This is Erickson's catching debut as a pro. She was in the lineup as a DP last night, but the lefty catcher and Gold Glover gets to catch the longtime veteran Taylor McQuillan.
Something to think about quick, that there's been a lot going on with the lineup situation and Bri Ellis having a triple, is the Bandits should have been out of the inning. They should have been able to turn that double play. Agbayani could not get the ball out of her glove and get a good grip on it, and not to put too much on her, but they should have been out of this inning, not giving up any runs.
Strike 3 to end it there. So the Talons strike first, 1-0 after 2.
Game now available on Amazon. Play strong, play smart.
It is gusting here in Salt Lake City. Amanda said it just moments ago, 18-mile-per-hour winds, but those gusts up into the mid-30s. Bri Ellis keeps it rolling. That was ruled as a triple and another RBI for Ellis in her sophomore campaign here in the pros. You got to think Lisa Fernandez, Cindy Ball Malone, and this entire Talons organization are thrilled with what they're seeing out of Bri Ellis to start the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And just her being able to have fun. Saw her in the dugout before the game, and you know, I've known her since she was 9 or 10 years old. We go way back, and she looked at me and she said, "I'm having fun," and then ran into the locker room, and you can tell that she's having fun. When she's in a good place and having fun and playing with joy, Bri Ellis is going to do Bri Ellis things like we saw her do in her college career that just did not translate for last summer, but can translate for this summer.
Hard hit ground ball taken care of by Rachel Becker, who is back in. There's one out. Just one over the minimum for Willis, and Lisa Fernandez has to be happy about that as well, because Sarah Willis is out of the reserve athlete pool. So Lisa Fernandez and Cindy Ball Malone got together, I'm sure, and said, who do we want to replace Georgina Korick early on? And quite the decision. She might be shaking her head saying, wish I could have got Megan Grant on this team too. She had 2 of her UCLA seniors, but Megan Grant hit a 315-foot shot earlier today, and She might have been watching that on her phone.
Sure she knows about it. If she wasn't watching, I'm sure she heard about it.
Foul ball by Agbayani. She was in the top 3 in the order last night, but drops down to the 9 hole. Try and turn things over to Morgan Zirkel and company at the top of this order with 1 out in the inning. Oh, 2. Oh, man, Willis. Strikeout number 4. Well, how about this earlier tonight for the Cascade? They did lose in run rule fashion, but this is Megan Grant, my goodness.
315 feet. 86 miles an hour off her bat. It hit the building out in right field. This is her first game. She missed yesterday. Bat hit the ball. She seemed to be out.
And that's going to end the inning. That was a cool shot, though, by Megan Grant.
It's so pretty. We should watch it again when we have some more time to talk about it later.
We should. I could watch that again. Longest one ever hit in AUSL history. Shonda Stanton wants to chat first. She's going to bat for her former college star, Morgan Zirkel, who played for Shonda Stanton when she was the head coach at Marshall. Not going to get a challenge here. We're going to go to a break. Talon's first-year head coach, Cindy Ball Malone, just completed her 8th season as the head coach at UCF, where she's very familiar with Sarah Willis. And you see the reaction here when Willis got out of that last inning. She's off to a great start, but they got 2 years together at UCF.
Yeah, great relationship there. You see she whispered something into her ear, and what a great quality start that Sarah Willis is off to in this game.
I think Cindy Ball Malone is having a lot of fun, too. We got to talk to her pregame, and she was just kind of loving life as head coach of the Talons and was really excited when the opportunity came to get to do this in the Pro League, and talked about the great years she had with Sarah Willis. Said it was only 2 years. It was 2 great years, but to reunite was really special. And then you see the first player there to the right of Cindy is Hannah Flippen, and she joked with us. She said, Flippen came by me the other day and she said, "You're doing a great job." And it's just, those are the kind of moments I think she's really enjoying right now.
Yeah, well, Hannah Flippen is a fantastic leader for this team, and even giving her head coach a little bit of love and a reminder of, hey, you're doing great. Keep it up.
McQuillan jumps ahead in the count 1-2, trying to put up a clean inning here in her 3rd inning of work. Maddie Moore with her first professional at bat. Watches that pitch for strike 3.
There's some really good looking change-ups going on right now. Sarah Willis and Taylor McQuillan getting a bunch of strikeouts with the change-up. There have been 6 strikeouts in this game. 5 of them have been via the change-up. 2nd strikeout for McQuillan.
McQuillan was really a fantastic 1-2 punch in the inaugural AUSL draft with Lexi Kilfoyle. Kilfoyle was the #1 overall pick. Then Jenny Dalton-Hill went back to a pitcher in the 2nd round for McQuillan as Andrews lofts one to right field. And she's got a pair of hits tonight after she went 1 for 4 last night. But the problem right now for the Bandits on the pitching side is that 3 of their 5 pitchers are gone, finishing up their Japan season. So McQuillan, Odyssey Alexander Bennett are the only 2 that are on the normal roster, not out of the reserve athlete pool.
Yeah, puts them into a tough position, but gives an opportunity for others to be able to step up, like we saw with Amber Pfizer get the start on opening day for the Bandits last night.
Hannah Flippen takes that pitch inside on the bunt attempt. 1-1 count to Flippen, who was one of the best to do it in a Utah jersey. So she is back home. She's comfortable. The fans love her here. And she's still playing some of her best softball well into her professional career. This is year number 10 as a pro for Hannah Flippen. Let's go down to Anna Camden with more on Hannah.
Well, Chucky, you mentioned Hannah's not new to the state of Utah, and either is her mom. Her mom was an All-American pitcher at Utah State. She actually led them to back-to-back national champions, and she was inducted later into the Hall of Fame in 1993. Hannah said that it's like she's living out both of their dreams by getting to play professional softball, and she said she's proud to represent both of them out there on this field every night that she gets to wear the jersey.
She gets to wear Utah across her chest right now. She's got a good chance to wear USA across her chest in a couple years. Patty Gasso is a big fan of Hannah Flippen and the leadership qualities. She's got a great glove. She's also a really capable hitting shortstop.
She does a lot of things right. She's very experienced. She is a leader. She is a leader that a lot of these players look up to, both on the field, or on the infield, I should say. Talk a little hitting in the dugout. Just everybody looks up to her.
Takes strike 2 from McQuillan. 2-2 count with Andrews on first and 1 out. Speaking of Olympians, Taylor McQuillan is one of them for Team Mexico at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Flipping into right field. First hit of the season for Hannah Flippen.
Just a good piece of 2-strike hitting from Hannah Flippen. Gets a changeup. Remember, we were just talking about the changeup. It had been really effective for McQuillan, but Hannah Flippen stays deep into her legs and just drives that pitch the opposite way. I mean, you think about a good piece of hitting, and you hear that cliche a lot. That is a good piece of hitting by Hannah Flippen on that changeup.
Bandits, not sure if there's an issue right now. I think this might be a trainer coming out onto the field to talk to Taylor McQuillan. Shonda Stanton is also out there. Taryn McKinney is joining the conversation, as well as Alex Ibarra, one of their assistant coaches. Certainly concerning if it is something bothering McQuillan.
Well, and when they had the defensive timeout, it was Taylor McQuillan who initiated that timeout, calling Taryn McKinney to her. It wasn't Taryn initiating that timeout. It was Taylor taking it into her own hands and wanting to talk to her about a little something, and then now that happened. So that's definitely something to keep your eye on.
Bree Copeland is up in the Chicago bullpen. Now, Taylor McQuillan and Taryn McKinney very familiar with each other. Taryn was the pitching coach for one of her stints at Arizona when Taylor was dominating there. Jumps ahead of Jaquish 0-2. Jaquish fights that pitch off. Look, it's game 2 of the season. This feels like a big game for the Bandits tonight. No Georgina Corrick on this Talons active roster right now. You're going to get Megan Faremo tomorrow night. And some of your top options aren't coming back for a couple weeks. They need to find some wins at every avenue to put themselves in a position for one of those top 3 spots come the postseason. And that is something that is new. If you followed AUSL last year, it was just the top 2 of the 4 teams then that went to a championship best-of-3 series. This year, it is the top 3 teams that make the postseason. The number 1 gets the automatic bid, and then 2 and 3 and play a 1-game playoff, which is going to be awesome, by the way. All of that will take place in College Station, and I think this is it for Taylor McQuillan. Quick conversation with the rookie, Bree Copeland. Rookie to AUSL, I should say. It'll be her 2nd year as a pro overall. Quillen trying to get the pitch comm off her glove for Copeland, so we will step away. 2 on, 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. Bottom of the 3rd, 1-0 Utah. Shonda Stanton going to make a change to a very familiar face to her. Bree Copeland, a 2nd-year pro, her first in the AUSL out of Indiana. So she played for Shonda Stanton there, where she was a 2-time All-American, finished her career in 2025, and was a GA there for Shonda this year.
It's just going to be important for her to come in and throw strikes and trust her defense. Erin Koffel, even in the little meeting that they had in the circle, gave her a high five and said, "We got you. All you need to do right here is find a way to get 1 out." And the Bandits could easily get out of this mess, not having given up any runs.
Charlize Palacios is the batter. Charlize wears that number 13 for her older sister, Sachelle, who is also a longtime pro. Retired a couple years ago.
There's a nice changeup dropped in there. She'll bring it 68, 69 miles an hour. We'll rely on her drop, screw, rise, and also that changeup. That is going to be a necessary pitch for her to throw.
Kind of jammed up. Palacios in circle, lost her footing, but stays with it, and that wind continues to be a factor. But a 0 on the board, still just a 1-run game here in Utah.
I tried doing a Jim Halpert where it's like, but I think I looked at the wrong camera. I'm mic'd up, so the camera's on me. Only put this in if they'll sponsor me. If not, no free ads. No one takes me seriously. That's what I'm talking about.
Bri Ellis on the mic. She can do everything. She's off to a great start, and she's a comedian.
She is such a character. Having fun already early this season. Look at these faces. Always keeping things light, making people laugh.
Sarah Willis into her 4th inning of work. One base runner on an error so far.
I have a great stat for you.
Okay.
Last year, Sarah Willis had 10 strikeouts in 17 innings pitched. She has 4 tonight through 3 innings.
It's kind of incredible. Great talent in the league, of course, a year ago. The depth of talent in the league this year with 2 more teams. So you would think, oh, it's going to get spread out more, but it is unbelievable, the talent in this league. And I say that because Sarah Willis is out of the reserve athlete pool. So when Georgina Corrick comes back, Sarah Willis will not be with this team.
Her changeup has always been really good and a money pitch for her, but it just seems extra good tonight. And that is now 3 times she has thrown it on a 3-0 count.
Now a 3-1 to last year's MVP. Gets away. Koffel leads off the inning with a walk, and the Bandits need a spark here. Erin Koffel is picked up right where she left off.
Down batting number 99.
She is 2 for 4 at the plate with a double, an RBI, a pair of walks in 2 games so far. And now here's Taryn Kern. Chopper back to Willis, turns, and the throw is a little bit high. That is a double play. Flippin stayed with it. And Willis gets the double play.
This play does not happen if Sarah Willis, who is such a good athlete, by the way, does not have the most correct footwork, goes up in the air and lands on her right foot. So as that ball is coming down, she is in the air and makes sure that she lands on with her right foot and already starts to start her throwing motion towards second base. Everything had to be perfect on that play, and it started with Sarah Willis, and it was perfect.
So after the leadoff walk, now 2 outs with nobody on for Jocelyn Erickson. Nice spot on the outside corner from Willis.
Just love the determination that she's pitching with tonight. A lot of adrenaline. You can see she came out right away and attacked the strike zone. She led off the game with a strikeout to Morgan Circle. Remember, Morgan Circle had one of the best years offensively of any player in the AUSL. Got her looking, or got her to strike out on a changeup, had 2 strikeouts in that first inning, and really set the tone in the Circle for this Talons team.
A 3-1 count now to Erickson. Mentioned Zirkle's great year last year. She was likely second in MVP and Hitter of the Year voting to Erin Koffel, her own teammate who won the awards. That misses for ball 4. A couple free passes from Willis here in the 4th frame. We are going to see a pinch runner for the Bandits. It's going to be Kylie Sand, 3rd-year pro from Norco, California, played her college ball at Rutgers. This is her AUSL debut.
And it's 0-0, Elon Butler.
She is on for Elon Butler, who flew out to right field on the first pitch she saw back in the 2nd inning.
And with the amount that Sarah Willis throws her changeup, Sand needs to be looking for something in the dirt, trying to move herself up 60 feet into scoring position. And although Sarah Willis usually will throw that pitch a little bit more elevated, it still can get away from her. And she throws that pitch a lot. I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like it's such a different score than just 1-0. I just feel like the energy, momentum, everything is with the Talons right now. But if the Bandits could find a way to capitalize on these free passes in this inning, this would change the momentum.
Butler fouls that off her ankle. You talked about the ball in the dirt for Kylie Sand to look at, and Shonda Stanton talked about that with the aggressiveness that she likes to coach with. She said it's really a mindset. You have to commit to that overall. It's not just about stealing bases, but she said, I want them on the lookout for those dirt balls from the pitchers or anything that gets away from a defender where we can take an extra 60 feet.
A team named the Bandits is the perfect team for Shonda Stanton with the way that she coaches to coach, because she loves the base running and speed.
1-2, the call chance. Silenced for just a moment. It's that two-strike tradition that is being started here in Utah. I'm excited to get to Chicago this weekend. We'll have the Spark Bandits series over the weekend, and you know the Chicago fans are going to be ready to roll with the Bandits making their return officially to Rosemont. 2-2.
Yeah, and that's the difference that you're feeling this season. We have 6 home markets, home fields, and last year we'd show up and call games. There was a great attendance. There were a lot of fans there, but there wasn't that home field feeling that we have this year.
It was an interesting dynamic last year because the crowds, the fans wanted it. They were all there. We saw sellout crowds across the country, but to your point, the atmosphere was great, but it was just different because they weren't necessarily behind a team as a whole. 3-2 from Willis. Butler did everything she could to stay on that.
It's just different to show up to a field and what the majority of the people there are going to support the home team. You know, that we have this home team. We're in this tradition. We're doing the two-strike chants together. It builds that culture and that brand and just adds a whole other dimension to each of the 6 teams in the AUSL that now have these home cities.
Willis trying to get Butler on another 3-2. Stays with the off-speed. Butler lofts it into shallow center. That is pushing it in. And again, it is the wind becoming a factor. Butler heads up base running to get into second base. Her first professional hit.
Any ball in the air right now is going to be an adventure. We saw it with Morgan Zirkle to end the inning. Something that looked like a routine fly ball just is not going to be. This wind is howling, and with 2 outs, Sand is going to be able to run on the ball, put in play, and get herself to third base. Jada Coleman can cover a ton of ground out in center field, but that wind is blowing hard and knocked that ball down into no man's land.
This is a slightly different climate than I think what we saw in Oklahoma City earlier today. Fans were in the heat. It's a little chilly right now, especially in the stands. That will go down as a double for Elon Butler for her first professional hit out of Oregon. Look at this, we're bundled up here in Salt Lake City.
This Texas girl is not used to it being in the middle of June, and how cold is it right now? It is 70 degrees with that wind that makes it feel like in the low 60s, but I think it's going to get down to the 40s, and even up the road in Park City, it's going to get down to 31 tonight.
And we got the chance to see Park City a little bit this week. Beautiful up there. It's a great spot for professional softball. Never going to get mad about the mountain views over the outfield fence. Now Bree Copeland trying to help her own cause. Takes strike 1 from Willis. Bandits looking to capitalize. They had a bases loaded, no out situation in the 4th inning last night that they got nothing from. This is not that level of opportunity, but you do have 2 in scoring position, and yet again it's in the 4th inning.
And Sarah Willis is just continuing to go to that curveball against Copeland, trying to move that ball low and away from her. This next pitch likely will be another curveball, probably off the plate.
Ground ball back to Willis. Quick visit from Cindy Ball Malone. Just what she needed. Strands a pair still. Sarah Willis spinning a gem. One 2-0 team in the league. It's the Carolina Blaze. Carlin Pickens in her professional debut. 5 innings, 5 hits, 5 Ks, and just the 2 earned runs.
Well, and who was she throwing to? Who was her battery mate? Oh, that's Reese Atwood, 2-time national champ from Texas. A rookie battery, Reese Atwood catching Carlin Pickens in their first pro start. How cool is that?
Carlin back in her home state. She's from about 4 hours west of Durham, North Carolina. So you know she's going to be a fan favorite up there. The Volts also got on the board with a win as Jada Coleman lifts this pitch into the outfield circle, makes the catch, and there's one away. But you said it, Pickens and Reese Atwood, that's the level of star power and incredible connections that the AUSL is offering.
Let's make some noise for number 1, Caroline Jacobson.
First pitch down and in to Caroline Jacobson. This is the first full inning of work for Bree Copeland. Jacobson, who got off to a red-hot start last year and was so consistent, still looking for her first hit, and she is retired by Erin Koffel.
Well, and in that Cascade and Blaze game, we talked about the battery with Atwood and Pickens, but then we saw Grant's home run. I mean, the rookie stars that are in this league that were in that game are just big time. And Grant with the 315-foot home run, Carlin Pickens doing her thing in the circle, Reese Atwood catching her. Just love to see it.
The Talons still awaiting the arrival of their 2 rookies as Ellis rips one into left field. She is red hot right now.
She just has to be so excited, and she's so strong. Gets a screwball and is able to turn on it toward the left side. 79 miles an hour off of her bat on that pitch that was just down in the zone. Just more of a line drive toward that left side. She is so strong and just continues to have some good swings.
First pitch strike to Rachel Becker. I mentioned the Talons still awaiting their 2 rookies. That's Taylor Tinsley and Jordan Woolery, so more star power on the way. We've also seen some of the rookies who weren't drafted. That was kind of big news that they didn't get picked in the league already. One of those was Ruby Malin, who we saw debut earlier today for the Oklahoma City Sparks, so great to see Ruby in action. She's also back very close to where she played her last couple of years of college ball at Oklahoma State. Speaking of Cowgirls, Rachel Becker, one of them. Slow roller first baseline. Kern wanted that, and they will say it got foul.
Yeah, the new faces in this league, whether they're rookies or players like Jada Coleman and Kelly Maxwell and Riley Boone, who are playing their first seasons of AUSL, just have elevated this league. There is so much talent everywhere you look on all 6 teams. It kind of already feels like we need 2 more additional teams because there's so much talent.
Back to Copeland. Nice job to stay with it and pick it up with a bare hand. Squanders a 2-out single from Bree Ellis. Pitcher's duel in Salt Lake City. We're going to the 5th.
There were no runs scored, but there was one hit.
Game 2 of this opening series and the second season of AUSL, and Sarah Willis is getting the ball for the Talons. 3 strikeouts on her changeup, 1 mixed in there with her curveball, and being able to field her position very well. Such a good athlete in the middle of the field for this Talons team, and bringing the adrenaline, the energy, came out and attacked the strike zone early, set the tone and the circle for the Talons, and it's just a 1-0 game. But because of the way that Sarah Willis is throwing and the way that she's attacking these hitters in command of them, it feels like the score is like 5-0, not just 1-0.
Number 7, Sammy Williams.
Getting it done for former college coach Cindy Ball Malone. We saw those two embrace earlier in this game in a really cool moment. The wind's still gusting here in Salt Lake City as Willis misses ball 1 to Sammy Williams. It's 7-8-9. Do have a new catcher, Charlize Palacios, all decked out in the gold trim. And there's Savannah Jaquish, who moves out to third base from her catcher position, which pushes Maddie Moore from third to second, position she played a lot of in her college days at Clemson.
Well, we just saw a swing there by Sammy Williams that was actually contact with the changeup. Nobody, I don't think, had even made foul ball contact with Sarah Willis's changeup up to this point, but maybe these hitters are going to start to go up and look for her changeup in these counts.
So you're picking if you're a hitter. I'm either sitting on the hard or I'm waiting for the changeup.
Yes, you have to, because if you're trying to hit both of those in the 20-mile-an-hour difference, you're not going to hit either of them and try to get on time with her.
Here come the caw chants from the Talon fans and the 1-2 count.
We're still trying to pick it up and find some synergy with those caw chants. We had really good synergy last night on opening night. Montana Fouts in the circle.
Bounced in by Willis. Nice at bat here from Sammy Williams. You've said it. doesn't feel like a 1-0 game, but the Bandits are a swing or two away from completely changing the complexion of this.
It would take a lot to get a ball out of this ballpark with the wind that we're seeing in the gust.
Williams right side. There is Moore, who moves to second and immediately sees a ground ball. Up next is Bella Dayton, who is mic'd up. Let's go into the game.
Oh my gosh, I am such a germaphobe.
For your dry skin.
It is dry. I'm a freaking alligator.
I didn't know Shonda was a germaphobe. I just wiped my Vaseline on her hand.
You just learned something about your head coach. Everybody's getting friendly right now. I haven't had a ton of time together.
Things I did not know about Shauna Stanton was germaphobe. Okay. I do know she is intense and passionate and pays attention to the details and is a fantastic coach and likes to steal a lot of bases and takes a lot of pride in base running. I do know that about Shauna Stanton.
Right? You would think she's more of like kind of playing in the dirt and stuff, because that's what her players are. They're stealing 120 plus bases in a season in college.
Bella Dayton trying to lay down that bunt, use her wheels. I think Bella Dayton would have been a player that Shauna Stanton would have loved to have had on her Indiana team, just with the type of player that she is, puts in a lot of work in the weight room. Shauna Stanton, with her Indiana college softball program, calls them the gym rats. Really passionate about putting in the work in the gym and lifting the weights. And Bella Dayton is fast, she is strong.
Dayton stays with that. It was a really good swing, but Coleman is on it in center field. 2 outs.
Here's Ilana Akbayani.
You were mentioning the lack of Georgina Korick with the Talons pitching staff. Montana Fouts getting the ball last night. Megan Farimo being the projected starter for tomorrow night's game.
Akbayani ropes this right at Coleman. I'm on the edge of my seat for where you're going with that comment, and we'll get to it in just a few minutes. History for the Talons!
A storybook ending to this AUSL season. One of those remember where you were moments. This is just that first layer of history that the Talons get to celebrate.
Leading off the bottom half of the 5th inning.
That was less than a year ago. Montana Fouts in Tuscaloosa closing the door on the first ever AUSL championship. They were built on pitching and defense last year. The ERA and the fielding percentage both led the league.
Yeah, and I mean, the three-headed monster of Fouts, Korick, and Farimo is something special and united, and something that Lisa Fernandez wanted to keep in the expansion draft and protect. And Charlize Palacios back behind the plate.
She kept the main ingredients of that championship with Flippin and Palacios leading the defense, handling the pitching staff behind the plate, and then, of course, the three-headed monster that you spoke of.
When she said Lisa Fernandez did yesterday, it was not easy at all for any of these GMs that had to protect players to pick and choose.
It's just foul down the third base line. Cindy Ball Malone talked about working with Lisa Fernandez, and she said when she got the call, she was kind of like, what is going on right now? But instantly interested, and said she was talking to Lisa recently and said, I'm kind of fangirling still a little bit that I'm working with Lisa Fernandez.
She actually said when she saw Lisa calling, like, this is wrong. Surely she's not calling me. Like, why is Lisa Fernandez calling me?
Maddie Moore goes down swinging. Let's check in with Anna Camden.
All right, well, as you guys can see, I've had a wardrobe change. It is windy, it is cold out here, but the Talons do have something going to their advantage. They've got heaters here in the dugout, and I can attest it is a lot warmer over here than it is over on the Bandits because they don't have heaters. The dirt is being stirred up into people's eyes in the wind, and I'd imagine it's a lot more comfortable up there where you guys are than it is down here tonight.
I like that. The home squad gets the advantage with the warmth.
They have their parkas out over there. It's just crazy that we have these big jackets out in June. I can't get over it.
You know what's the visiting dugout's not going to have when the Talons come to Rosemont? A fan, because it's probably going to be the mid-90s in Chicago. Andrews, little dribbler, out at first. Sammy Williams has been excellent at third base tonight.
Like the at-bats that Aaliyah Andrews is putting together early in this season, and a great defensive play by Sammy Williams to read this soft slap and throw on the run, bang bang play with the wheels of Aaliyah Andrews. Sammy Williams had a hot shot at her earlier in this game, handled it with no issues, and then a soft slap there, being able to throw on the run so well.
First pitch strike to Hannah Flippin, somewhat flying under the radars. This relief outing from Bree Copeland, who came in and got the last out of the third inning. Gave up a single last inning, but no runs, and now trying to go 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the fifth. Hard hit, Flippin. Gonna try and drive this to the wall, and it gets past circle. Here comes Flippin around second, and she is headed into third. .71 miles per hour off the bat of Hannah Flippin.
She went down and got this to drop ball down the zone, just takes it right back up the middle of the field. Off the bat, I thought it was going to be a lot closer to Bree Copeland, but a big mistake, especially in a 1-0 game. We're getting late in this game. Morgan Zirkle cannot let that ball get by her, and Hannah Flippin motors all the way to third. That's going to go down as a triple.
Jaquish into right field, and it's caught out there by Butler. So still nothing doing from an offensive perspective in the fifth. 1-0, the Talons on top. WSL. We're just getting started. This is just day 2, third game of the night. That's the other great part. When we've got games, we usually have 2 or 3 games in a night. So we've already seen 2 results. Texas and Carolina both winning their respective games. And now Utah and Chicago battling it out for the last win of day number 2.
This is an important part of the game right here with the top of the order coming up for the Bandits, and with where we're at. Sarah Willis has just continued to be in command, but third time through, down by 1 run. The top of the order has to make some noise here for the Bandits.
Morgan Zirkle leads it off. She is just 1 for 6 to start the season. Had a hit last night and scored one of the Bandits 2 runs. They have been held scoreless in the last 11 innings. This was the #1 offense in the league last year. Obviously missing a big part right now, and Skylar Wallace anxiously awaiting her return. Zirkle trying to play some small ball. It's interesting, Shonda Stanton, who coached her at Marshall, told us that she really wasn't swinging away earlier in her career, but she had a foot injury that forced her hand to swing away, and then of course she ends up being an All-American at Marshall. And now she's one of the best power hitters in the league.
Led the league in home runs last summer.
(3-2).
This crowd is getting loud too. I think that there was some giveaways going on in between innings, and you know how the fans feel about giveaways and just anything free. They're going to get loud after that, and the perfect time for it late in this game, knowing how important 6 outs are.
Zirkle stays with it and ropes one into center field. That was a professional piece of hitting from Morgan Zirkle.
And honestly, I would look to make a pitching change here if I was the Talons. That tells me everything that I need to know about the adjustments that the Bandits are going to be looking to make this third time through. When you have, we saw Montana Fouts warming up in the bullpen, why not bring her in for 6 final outs? Just a 1-run lead.
And it's the reigning MVP, Erin Koffel. Fouts out there. Megan Faremo also throwing in the Talons bullpen. Faremo, the projected starter for tomorrow. Dallas Escobedo McGee, longtime pro at Arizona State, is also warming up.
Well, triple barrel action out there for the Talons. A double play also would be huge here with the amount that Sarah Willis is throwing that changeup and more down the zone with her curve and drop.
Bounced in, 2-1 count to Koffel. Hit .424 last year, 5 doubles, 4 triples, 5 home runs, and led the league with 28 RBIs. Changeup stays up in the zone, 3-1. She also, if Erin is playing, her parents are here. We saw them in the ballpark yesterday. Usually her dog is with them. Unfortunately, he did not make the trip this time. But they traveled all over the country, wherever the Bandits were last year. A lot of times they'll drive from Indiana to watch her play. I don't know if they made the drive out to Salt Lake City. They drove as far as Wichita, Kansas last year.
I'd love to see her get a hit right here. And pass the bat to Taryn Kern on deck.
Ball 4. Zirkle was on the move. So it is now 1st and 2nd with nobody out. This could be it for Willis. Cindy Ball Malone comes out. Quick word with the home plate umpire, and she'll head to the circle, and it is Megan Faremo who will jog in from the bullpen to make her debut in this 2026 season. Quick conversation with Willis, and then the fans really appreciating Sarah Willis and her performance tonight. She would be in line for the win, and it's a save opportunity for Megan Faremo, who got to come back a little bit earlier than the rest of the players from Japan. So Faremo ready on opening day, but she was just in waiting behind Montana Fouts. She is in her 4th professional year from Oceanside, California, starred at UCLA. She was a freshman on that 2019 national championship team with Rachel Garcia and Bubba Nichols Camarena, and she is a superstar.
Yeah, she is, and was a projected Game 3 starter for the Talons for tomorrow. So we'll see, because of how tight this game is and having to bring her in, what tomorrow will look like for the Talons. Not saying that she can't pitch in back-to-back days, but may go with a different option. She's going to throw hard, and she's going to work a rise, curve, and change up. The one blemish to her last season was just the amount of home runs that she gave up. Gave up some of the most in the league of any pitcher. 8
home runs last year allowed from Faremo in 42 1/3 innings pitched. Got off to a little bit of a rough start, hit a groove toward the halfway point in the season and the back part of it. She wants to start this season hot. It is a save situation for a Team USA mainstay. Sarah Willis down in the bullpen looking on. 5+ innings, just the 2 hits allowed, 3 walks and 4 Ks.
Yeah, did everything that she could. Her first start this season, and you would have never known that it was her first start, her first innings with this team, with the way that she just commanded her pitches, her changeup, no earned runs, only gave up 2 hits. What a quality start for Sarah Willis tonight.
There's Megan Faremo's numbers from a year ago. ERA a little elevated from what we're used to seeing from her, that 4.80, but at her best, she can dominate anyone in the world. And she will face a rookie in Taryn Kern. Shows bunt, and that was nearly perfect down the third base line, but just foul.
A little short game here. Sacrifice bunt situation, trying to get 2 runners in scoring position. This is one of the best chances that the Bandits have had all night. They had one other inning where they had 2 runners on. That was back in the 4th, but that came with 2 outs.
Mentioned last night, had the bases loaded chance with nobody out, and were unable to get anything in the 4th inning last night. Oh, up and in. Kern is back on her feet. That was scary for just a moment there.
Well, especially with the way that you lean over for a bunt, you're more over the plate and then have to move even further out of the way.
Gets it down this time. Jaquish coming on to make the play, but job done for the rookie Taryn Kern. Still one more inning, but this feels like a now or never moment for the Bandits, and it's Jocelyn Erickson at the plate.
By the way, what a good job done by Taryn Kern, a hitter who, I don't know how many sacrifice bunts she had at Stanford, but with the way that she swings the bat, I wouldn't think it's a ton, but just looks so fundamental with the way that she put that down, even after almost getting hit by a rise ball.
She is one that, as a lot of these rookies have a chance to do, she could have a long, successful career at the pro level if she chooses to continue playing through the years. Erickson just tips that back and is behind in the count 1-2. Two for 6 in the leadoff spot. The other situationals, not what they'd like them to be, especially with runners in scoring position. 0 for 3. You got to tune the call chain out as a hitter, don't you?
Yeah, and tuned it out to spoil that off-speed pitch out of the hand of Faremo. Good job by Jocelyn Erickson, a rookie going up against Faremo. Love it.
Erickson battling right now. The left-handed hitter, the left-handed catcher. Not just SEC Player of the Year, but NFCA Player of the Year a couple years ago at Florida. They went back-to-back with that award. Skylar Wallace won it the year before. Got her upstairs, and a big fist bump from Faremo. Fired up for out number 2.
And this is a pitch sequence from Faremo going at Jocelyn Erickson. She got ahead right away.
0-0. Elon Butler.
On a pitch that was out over the heart of the plate and then missed it with a ball that was a rise ball. And then after that, Erickson fouled off several pitches, a screw, an off-speed pitch, another screw, and then chased the rise ball for the strikeout. That chase was a big-time strikeout pitch for Faremo with 2 runners in scoring position. It got the rookie to chase out of the zone.
Now the last chance in the 6th is another rookie, Elon Butler. Doubled on kind of a floater out to shallow center field where she just got really aggressive on the base paths to take 2. That was in her last at bat in the 4th inning. 1-1. Inside corner, great location.
Look how fired up too Faremo was, even after just that strike, knowing how important that pitch was to set up this next pitch and get herself into a pitcher's count.
Got her swinging. Big time moment from Megan Faremo.
She is built for moments like this. She wants the ball late in the game, tight game, 2 runners in scoring position, and Faremo gets 3 outs with 2 strikeouts.
The AUSL is sponsored by Franklin. Look at that from Megan Faremo. This is game 2 of the season, but you see what it means to Faremo, who are used to that fiery mentality in the circle. She's just so much fun to watch.
It's important to get off to a good start here early in the season. All these games matter, and I mean, think about last season, how quickly the Bandits and Talons pulled away. They knew how important a quick start was. I mean, these games, all of them matter in what kind of feels like a short season in June and July.
Leadoff hitter for the Talons this inning is Charlize Palacios, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. She was the first batter to face Bree Copeland back in the 3rd inning. Fouls that off herself. A painful one for Palacios. She's done that twice now, or she's been hit by a pitch. She's now fouled one off herself. She took a foul tip behind the plate last night.
Yeah, it's not been an easy breezy start of these first 2 games for Charlize Palacios. I feel like she's probably felt a lot of pain in 24 hours.
Man.
And this hurts so bad. Right off the top of her foot / ankle there.
The third and final game of this series concludes tomorrow here in Salt Lake City. Tune in at 9 Eastern on ESPNU. Kind of bounce back and forth. Local time, 7 o'clock start tomorrow. We started at 8 tonight, so we get the softball under the lights here in Salt Lake City.
You know what I love? Watching 3 softball games in one day on June 10th. It used to be that the World Series happened and we all just went into withdrawals after that, but now you have all these games televised, get to see every game of the AUSL season, and I am completely locked in.
Bounced in by Copeland to Palacios, 2-2 count. This season runs all the way almost to the end of July is when the championship series will be held in College Station, Texas.
It just kept going, didn't it? I did not think that that foul ball was going to go 236 feet that I'm seeing on the TrackMan.
She's got pop.
She's got some pop.
Charlize, a pair of home runs last year. One of them was a game winner in Wichita over the Chicago Bandits. Oh, bounced in, and that one got her. And Charlize will hobble down to first base. She is going to need an ice bath tonight.
Oh, I feel for her so much, because this was the other foot. Or did it actually get both? Did they get her front foot too, or do you think it just got the back one?
It was just the back one. I don't think Charlize is saying it just got my back foot. It's only one that time, but I think she's earned a pinch runner. It is Sarah Gordon.
Oh, poor thing.
See if Charlize comes out to catch or not next inning. She might have to take the night off. Megan Faremo checking on her catcher. It's getting everything sorted right now with the substitution.
I think they're saying with AUSL rules, both starters and substitutions can re-enter twice, and maybe that's what they're potentially talking about, because Sarah Gordon already came out to pinch run, and they're saying no, she can come back in to pinch run, she thought, with the rules. So trying to, I think, get this all figured out.
I think there's a little confusion here, because to my knowledge, the rule is regardless if you are a starter or a sub,
yeah,
you are not ineligible to return until you've been subbed out twice. So I believe that Sarah Gordon can enter this game, but I think it's being relayed that it is not allowed. And I think you saw Cindy Ball Malone saying, I was told too. I think she is thinking the same thing.
Well, now we have nobody at first for the time being, which we know is not right.
Here comes Charlize. You got to feel for her right now, because not only does she have to run, but she had to run off, and now she has to run back on and run for herself. Talons is a different substitution rule. You mentioned that, but that is one thing to point out with this. So the confusion you're seeing with a simple substitution is because this is a different rule than the college level. Part of that is rosters are much smaller. 16 players on these rosters, so you don't have 5 pinch runners in waiting. You have 1 or 2 maybe. This is ripped to right field and over the head of Butler in right. Coleman around first to second. And you just wonder if that were Sarah Gordon out there, if that's a run scored for the Talons, but Charlize hustles around to third base.
Jada Coleman had shown bunt, and then she hits with some power over Elon Butler's head. This is such a big outfield, so much room to cover, so much grass to cover, and she was playing in just a little bit, but you can't with Jada Coleman. She has too much power.
That's just the 4th Talon hitter with a base hit. Their other 6 hits are from 3 players who all have multi-hit games.
Think about how big Megan Framo getting out of that 2-runner in scoring position jam is right now in this moment, and the momentum that that created for the Talons to pick up the bats and bring it.
Chopper right on the line coming home. That is a foul ball, or else they would have had Charlize, who is just, she is laboring right now. She's in some serious pain. And let's go down to Anna with more on Charlize.
Guys, I just want to give a moment of credit to Charlize Palacios. She was back in the locker room, and a teammate had to go and get her and bring her back out. She came out, she had tears in her eyes, but she put that helmet on and she stepped back out on that field like a true professional. And now she's out there doing everything she can for her team, and they've got her back. They're cheering for her on, calling her a tough cookie from the dugout, and we'll see if she can run this one in for her team.
So her night was likely done then, having gone back to the locker room. I'm sure Cindy Ball Malone will be confirming the substitution rule in after this game too, to make sure she has clarity on what is and what isn't. That's a strikeout of Jacobson. Big out there for Bree Copeland.
And her second strikeout and her relief appearance, both have been on her changeup, and she deserves a lot of credit in this game. Came in relief of Taylor McQuillan, who got the start. She came in the 3rd inning. First time pitching in AUSL, and she's done a really good job of limiting the damage to the Talons, but now she has to face probably the hottest hitter for the Talons in Bri Ellis. And first base, I will point out, is open.
So you say, put her on.
With the way that Bri Ellis is swinging it and how close this game is and the pressure it takes off your defense with the bases loaded, I would 100% put her at first base.
If there's anyone that could cut one through a 20-mile-per-hour wind and get it out of here, it would be 77. And now in a hitter's count. And Taryn McKinney is coming out of the dugout saying, yes, put her on. Another difference in the rule here versus the college game is in an intentional walk situation, you do not have to throw pitches.
Well, and I don't think that it's so loud here. I don't think that the Bandits could hear the dugout trying to tell them to do that. Finally, Taryn Curran, they got her attention over at first base, and she was the one that told the umpire. But it's so loud here and windy, too. You know, wind affects the way that you're able to hear, the way that you're able to yell. So finally getting a hold of her and loading the bases with that intentional walk.
Tough spot for Bree Copeland.
But she's one pitch away from getting out of this. And if you are Bree Copeland, that is what you are thinking about. I am one pitch away from getting out of this inning.
Jadlyn Alchin, hard hit ball. Koffel coming home and makes the play. And I think she didn't feel she had an opportunity to get the speedster Alchin, who pats her chest, says, my bad. And Charlize Palacios slowly walks to the dugout.
Here's number 28, Maddie Moore.
Yeah, with the speed of Alchin at the plate, it really limits a chance to get that double play out at first base with her Holland Booty to get to 1.
Ground ball right side. You said she was 1 pitch away. She was 2 pitches away. Great job by Bree Copeland to give Chicago an opportunity. They've got 3 outs to work with, down just 1. Well, even some Chicago fans here in Salt Lake City, but the home crowd has been loud and behind the Talons in their first 2 games of the season. And there is Megan Faremo, who came out of the bullpen in relief of Sarah Willis last inning, got out of a 2-on, no-out jam, and now we'll try to close the door here in the 7th.
Well, excitement in that 6th inning. Top half and the bottom half. Pitchers being able to work out of some jams. Defenses making some plays. Remember, Megan Faremo came in and she got the sacrifice bunt out and then back-to-back strikeouts on her rise ball, chasing out of the zone.
If Utah holds on, it's an interesting way to win your first 2 games, and it's really kind of how they did it last year. At the beginning of the year, it was more of an offensive situation as Copeland lofts one to right, and the wind pushes it away from Alchin, but she makes the catch for the first out. But at the beginning of the year last year, the Talons started 5-3, so still good, but their ERA was 6.29, so it was really an offensive thing. The last 16 games of the season, they had a sub-3 ERA. The offensive numbers were a little down, so a lot of timely hitting as we saw in the championship. And over the first 2 nights in this season, we've seen both of those results possibly.
Talked about it last night, but is this potential rivalry in a new AUSL league because of the championship series that they played last year? And then maybe is it going to be Oklahoma and Texas with the little rivalry? I don't know. It's still so early. You know, these things just have to kind of play out. But when you play the first ever championship against each other, that rivalry starts to brew.
Yeah, you could start just spreading a few rumors here and there. Hey, they said this about you guys.
Rumors, go on to Reddit and start some things.
Yeah. Sammy Williams. This is hit hard into right center. Alchin going over and making the catch. That time the wind pushing it at her.
This wind is howling, and Jalen Alchin, even the first out that she made in this inning was a little bit of an adventure. But this one, more of a line drive. It stays low. She gets a better beat on it, but no ball in the air on a night like tonight is easy. Jalen Alchin with 2 outs in the 7th inning that Faremo needed.
Last chance for the Bandits is Bella Dayton. We talked to Lisa Fernandez yesterday. She talked about the athleticism of these outfielders, and these two two of the three outfielders, Jada Coleman and Aaliyah Andrews, were not on this team last year, so she knew she was going to be in a big park. So they went and got some very athletic outfielders that can cover ground. We heard the same thing from Cindy Ball Malone when we asked her about the dimensions of this field. She said, I'm really glad that we've got the outfield athleticism that we have, and we just saw it from Alch and Aaron Wright.
Well, in a tight game like this, defense is just so important and at a premium. And we've seen the Bandits not make some of those defensive plays, and the Talons be able to step up and make the big plays when needed.
3-1 count here to Bella Dayton in the 8-hole for Chicago. Hit 347 last year, but only hit 263 with 2 outs. So trying to keep this going in a hitter's count. And a full count to Dayton. As good as the Talons pitching staff was a year ago, they only allowed less than 3 hits on just one occasion, and it was a 5-inning game when they allowed 2 to the Blaze. Tonight, in just 1 out shy of 7 innings, they have only given up the 2 hits. The call chance looking for win number 2. 3-2 pitch from Faremo. Into left field, tailing away from Andrews! Erlia to finish the night! Two 2-0 start in their new home.
Yeah, and for sure winning this series in a 3-game series, win game 2 and win game 1, and you have officially won the series. Aaliyah Andrews, Aaliyah out there in left field. The outies, the corner outies especially, were all over it in this inning. I mean, Jada Coleman made some plays. The outfielders for Utah covered a lot of ground, had a challenging night with this wind. And look at how much this game and this series means with the celebration from the Utah Talons after clinching the series and winning a tight 1-0 ball game.
Let's go down to Anna Camden with Megan Faremo.
Into this game at a pivotal moment and completely shut it down. What was your mentality going into the circle then?
Was just to have Sarah's back. She'd been working the whole game, the battery had, and I feel like these guys really get me and they allow me to express myself, so just doing it for them.
The weather has not been pleasant tonight. The wind is blowing right now. How did you guys battle it, and did it have an impact on this game for you?
Honestly, I was going to say I didn't even notice because I feel like we're so positive out here that everyone was just ready to have a good time. So whether the wind was going or not, I mean, we got the job done.
Some incredible catches from the defense here to close this one out. 2 back-to-back defensive efforts from the defense as a whole. How much does this defense work together? How well does it work? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, man, so good. I love to see it. That's something that we had thought about, or I guess Coach Lisa had thought about. We knew this was going to be our home field. We knew we'd have a big outfield. So getting those guys out here that have the talent but are also willing to, you know, put it all on the line in the 7th in a 1-0 ball game, that's huge.
Thanks, Megan. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Back to you, Chucky.
Thank you, Anna. Megan Faremo gets the save. Sarah Willis gets the win, and the Talons are 2-0.
Yeah, she said something right there, putting it all out on the line in a 1-0 game. Those were challenging plays, but those outfielders, Alchin and Andrews, were determined to make plays. And they had Faremo's back, just like Faremo had their back whenever she entered into a tricky situation late in the game in the 6th inning. 2 runners on, and she pitched her best with a couple of strikeouts.
Day 2 of the 2026 season is in the books. 2 teams now sit at 2-0. The Carolina Blaze, who finish up their series with the Cascade tomorrow in Durham, and the Utah Talons atop the standings in this 25-game season. For Amanda Scarborough, Anna Camden, Casey Carter, and Aaron Angel, and our entire crew, I'm Chucky Hemp. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is the true story of Luke and Ann, who spent a lifetime saving for retirement. But living off those savings...
Scary.
Scary. Okay, deep breath. Here comes their advisor, Matt.
Our job is to manage the money. Your job is to enjoy it.
And with a plan, Earn and Save became Invest and Spend. Family trips, world restaurant tours, and Luke's new tractor.
Riding lawnmower.
Right. Sorry. What matters is that with Matt's help...
We're getting a lot more enjoyment out of life.
JP Morgan Wealth Management.
I know the people you work with. They're hot, but hands off your coworkers.
Many relationships start as friends.
That goes against my entire personality, but I'll try.